Crusting my eyes crazy, but I have to say this. I'm gonna be famous. Alright. I feel like a dork. Anyways, I got back last night, or yesterday morning, and I need to put some art down here so that if I do sit here, it doesn't look like just so bland. I need to stop moving this so often. But I loved Ireland so much. It was so relaxing. The greenery is like different than what you see here in the States, and like it just felt more real and felt more authentic. And the skyline, it felt like it was like even with the ground, where it was like there, like far away there would be like mountains and stuff, and like but it was all green, but it would like meet the sky at such a like nice point. And I think that in the United States sometimes it's like you get just green, or you get just sky, or you get just building. But to be able to see far away, and like there's mountains, and like there's just so many greeneries. I saw black people, so it didn't feel like, oh my god, it didn't feel like we're just the only black people. I miss my family, and I met new family members that I had never met before, and I felt so welcomed by Michael and Precious, which you guys have met. And like just even seeing like Dimala and Awal and Aliyah and Farouk and Baraka in their natural nature was just really nice. And I've learned a lot of slang from them, like "womp for you" from, or "lich," or honestly, those are the only two that I really took with me. Lich is literally, but it's like lich. And yeah, I just had a pleasant time. It felt like the time difference was eating away at our time. At the time that we had there, I was there for 10 days, but because in Ireland they're 6 hours ahead of our time, I just felt like those 6 hours were just going to the bin. Like every day, 6 hours, I would just have -6 hours from the actual day, which was like kind of really annoying. And I was eating like crazy. I think it's because obviously the time difference, and also because just food, like I come, like, you know, being an adult, you have food when you have food, and when you don't have food, you don't have food. But when you live with family, there's always food. They want you to eat. So I was just eating. On arrival, I had like 5 meals in the span of like 2 hours. So like, yeah, but it was nice seeing family. I definitely want to go back. And if I go back, I'll go back for like longer. I'll probably go back for like a whole month. My thing is like when I go see family by myself, I love to spend at least a month with people, because you realize that time goes by really fast, and a month might be like a long time, but it's really not that long. And so yeah, when I went to Cali for graduation, when I graduated high school, I spent a month. And at first I was like, okay, this is cool, this is a month. But once the month ended, I was like, so yeah. But I'm also planning a trip out there as well too, in a couple of years. But yeah, so that was my recap. If you have family in different places, you should go visit family. You know, you never know what you'll gain from that. And I just think that what that taught me, visiting family taught me that unconditional love is real, and that like you don't have to beg people to love you. It's obviously it's family, so it's like different, but like you don't have to beg people to love you. You don't have to beg people to show up, and like when you are welcome, you're fully welcome, and when people love you, you're fully loved, and there's no conditions to that. You know, there's no reason for that other than like, oh, you know, I just want to and I choose to embrace you. And that is just so powerful. And it made me realize, like, I feel like I have a lot of like strong feelings when it comes to love, and like the way that I love people and the way that I welcome people into my life. And sometimes when you're an individual, when you move away from family, you start to forget that like you might feel like you're the only one, but like it's probably within your family. And being around family made me realize that no, it's like part of my family. We all just love really strong, we all love really hard, and we all love really honestly. And so, and yeah, like being around family, we're all attractive, and like it's so crazy, you know. And I was just telling my roommates and realizing to myself that like my male cousins, they're so strong and powerful, because to me it feels like they're defying like the stereotypical agenda that, you know, society puts on male and how they're supposed to act, because they're super expressive, they're super honest, but they're also super strong and still super masculine. But they don't do it from a place of ego or a place of like, I'm better than you because I am a man. It's just like they're just more expressive about their personal personalities than they are about who they are as a man, like in a way of like, oh, because I'm a man, I'm not gonna show this and the third, or I'm not gonna dance on the dance floor. And like even the way that we were all just dancing with my aunt and celebrating her, just amazing. So yeah, I'm really grateful for that. And yeah, just continue to show me that like I'm rich and wealthy in more ways than I can even imagine, you know. And that's something that I'm super grateful for, because not everyone has family the way that I have family. Not everyone, you know, is close to their family the way that I'm lucky enough to be close to my family with. And um, it wasn't always like this in a way of like, you know, I don't know, you know, growing up, but like, but it always was, but it, you know, but yeah, but knowing that we all love each other and we all want to show up for each other is one of the best thing that I could have taken from this trip. And yeah, this US life is cool, it's fun, it's nice, but it's not the end. Like it's not the only type of reality that, you know, I can live in or I can show up in. I can show up in other realities, other worlds, and be welcomed. So yeah. God loves me more than I know what love is. I go to the Apple store. I already, last time, like I said, I already called them and said it was like $100. I go and I said, he's like, oh, have you backed up your stuff? And I'm like, I don't know. And then he's like, do you want to back it up? I'm like, sure. I didn't really do anything. He was like, he came back. He's like, do you need help? I'm like, yeah. We go to back it up. He's like, you don't really have as much, the same amount of iCloud storage as you do have the things you need to back up. Do you want a hard drive? I was like, well, how much is the hard drive? He's like, there's one for like the cheapest one is like $50, you know, whatever. He brings two hard drives out. One is $99, other one is $85. And I'm like, wait, how much is my repair? He's like, oh, it's free. I said, free? He said, yeah. You got the special Apple Care, student Apple Care, so you don't have to pay anything. So I'm like, all right. I'm gonna go for the bigger external hard drive so that I can have space for other things once I get my computer fixed. I go to tap and pay, my card is not working. I'm like, it's not that I don't have money on my card, it's just that the card itself is not working. It didn't work when I tried to use it at the airport. It didn't work. When I was using it yesterday, it wasn't really working like that. And then today again at the Apple store, it wasn't working. So I just was like, whatever. Setting an external hard drive. So we're just hoping and praying that nothing happens to the things on my desktop, and that I actually have all my stuff, which I believe that I will, inshallah. Also, it made me realize that as an artist, like, you just can't be holding on to your shit like that. Like, you just don't know what's gonna happen. And like, I'd rather have my shit on Instagram or online, just somewhere, you know, publicly, so that at least it's somewhere. And like, if it does get erased, like, it's not just a waste of energy or just a waste of material because I never used it. So now I'm just like in this phase where I'm like realizing that everything that I create is meant to be put out in the world, and it's not really meant to be held in my digital like space, such as my computer or my iPad. And so it's just about like, okay, now obviously not making work to be over just oversharing, but just knowing that once something is complete, that there should be a set date to release it and put it out in the world, and that you shouldn't just hold on to things. I'm gonna work on this later. I'm gonna work on this later. I'm gonna work on this later, or I'm gonna post this later. I'm gonna post this later. I'm gonna post this later, because you just don't know what's gonna happen. So yeah. So there's some things that I need to post on my Instagram page that I'm gonna post, and I just think that that's the biggest lesson. It's just like, you know, yeah. But yeah, like I said, I need to clean my room, so I'm gonna do that while watching the bear. I don't know. I think I kind of want to record that, but I don't know. We'll see. I also think that my phone is out of storage. But yeah, so I didn't end up spending any money, which is I'm so grateful for, because I was already like, damn, like this is the last bit of anything that I have, and so as of right now, and so yeah, but I didn't have to spend anything, which is great. So yeah, this is why I'm loved, and I hope to share this love with you. I'm pretty sure I have like 0% of energy in my phone, but I don't know. I feel like it's currently, I just have to show you. It's currently 8:44 in the morning, and I feel like, I don't know, I just feel kind of restless. You know, I'm still on this job hunt. I feel like I still feel like everything's gonna work out the way it needs to work out. I did move that, so that's facing, you know, but I don't know, I just feel a bit uncertain, feel a bit nervous, feel a bit preoccupied by like the thoughts of like, when is something gonna happen when it comes to like having a job, and just realizing how long I've been on this job hunt, and like how this is my reality when it comes to summertime, and like how the only thing that makes me feel like it's okay is that like, I'm posting videos, but even though I'm not making anything from them, but it's like, I'm doing something, you know, but like not really, you know, but like not really not, but like not in the sense of like, whatever. But then it had me thinking like, you know, if someone was working on something, like if any of my friends were working on like a film project and like they needed anyone, like I would be right there just to do something that made me feel purposeful and like make me feel like, okay, like, you know. And it's just, I don't know, watching The Bear recently, I'm just like, I want to be an actor, I want to be an actor, I want to be an actor. And so I've just been thinking about that reality of just like wanting to be a part of community and like wanting to be known and wanting to be seen, but also wanting to challenge myself and like what my facial expressions can do, and like challenge myself in the sense of like, damn, can I remember lines and stuff like that? Because I used to take theater in middle school for 3 years, and I would audition for the plays, and I never got it, so I'd work behind stage as stage crew and stuff like that. And I think I'm really good at filmmaking, and I know how to make really good films, and kind of work conceptually with things. But then I've also been thinking about the type of films that I want to make now, and how it's more in the realm of erotica, and how I would need people who are comfortable with being expressive when it comes to nudity, not full nudity, but when it comes to sexuality, and when it comes to noises, and it comes to sound, and it comes to facial expressions, and being in predicaments that is overtly explicit. You know, finding people that are, you know, comfortable doing that, and doing that with me, in a sense of like, whether I be the, you know, cameraman, or having other people around and witnessing that, and just understanding that like I can also be the creator, and I can create those opportunities for myself, where it's like, you want to make a film? Okay, make a film. Like, you know, I still have access to my school's resources, and, you know, whether it's the media center, I can go get me a camera and stuff like that. My laptop is still getting fixed, so I don't really have anything to put it on, but you know what I mean? So, I don't know, maybe it's just about like, okay, writing a script for myself. I already have this one film that I really want to make, but I haven't spoken to the person that I want to make it with yet. Yeah, but, you know, just like, stuff like that, and just like, I don't know, just like realizing that like, there's a gajillion and one things that I can be doing creatively that will help me feel purposeful and make me feel kind of like okay with where I'm at and with what I'm doing that I could be doing. And I have been doing that, and I think like, you know, day to day I'm like, you know, trying to be productive and trying to, you know, do stuff. And like, you know, I had a conversation with Anila, and it made me realize that you really don't know what anyone's reality is if you're not talking to them. You can only assume, especially if, you know, people are putting up a front or something like that. And so it's like, you know, talking to people helps you realize that, you know, sometimes you're more in the same boat than you think. You know, you might think someone's on a cruise ship, but maybe they're just on the other end of the boat than you are. And it took a little bit of walking around and getting lost to be like, oh shit, you're on the same boat as me. You know what I mean? But like literally. And so I don't know, I guess I'll just keep going and, you know, hope for the best and know that I have support systems around me to help me when I need help, and that there's no shame in asking for help. Whether it be like emotional help, financial help, you know, and like I have support system not just on my phone but in real life, like my aunt that I could ask for help if I needed to just go over to her place and like feel cared for and not worry about anything and eat her kids' snacks for like the whole day. Do you know what I mean? And like I should probably exercise that more. And we're only in July, you know what I mean? And but still, it just feels like this. It feels so weird to me because I feel like I feel safe, but I also feel like this different type of pressure, knowing that like rent is due every month. This is not like, oh, like no, like this is not like when I was living at the dorm where I never had to think about the fact that I wasn't paying for anything. When it came to living, and now it's like every month, bro. And so I don't know. I just remember that like one of my greatest desires is to own a house and just own my shit and not have to worry about shit like this. And then like, you know, also living with people and realizing like how I like to clean and what I like my general space to look like all the time, and just all these small things, like, you know, wanting to rush into that comfortability and like that state of life where everything is okay and everything that I want I have. And then I also think because I'm reading postmodernism and the other, I'm thinking about the reality of money. And like even when, you know, you acquire all this wealth, it's like, what are you gonna use it for? Just you're gonna use your money to buy expensive things just because you have big numbers and the things cost large numbers? Or is it just like just to have it, just to know that you have it? Like I'm starting to realize that, like, you know, I want this really well made house and I want to live really comfortable and I want to be able to eat really good food and I want to be able to travel and I want to keep my sense of style and you know and I want to look good and I want to smell good. But then beyond that, when it comes to materialistic things, it's like, what is the point? Then I realized, like, you know, what else could you use money for? You can donate, especially if you're gonna be a creative me. You know, you still have to buy materials. You need money to buy materials. Okay, you know what I mean. So it's like there's more aspect of using money and spending money than just buying things for your individual self and for your individual reality. And so I think realizing that, just seeing that now, like, you know, like yeah, after I have the comfortable things that I want that make me feel good and luxurious. The rest is, you know, donating things to charity, making sure that I'm giving money back to society, and also just knowing that, like, yeah, if something that I want to make costs a certain amount, that I have the money that it costs to make it, and that I sell it for what it's worth, and nothing above or below that. But yeah, I don't know. Watching the bear, just like, it's just like really interesting how I didn't realize how I'm living where they're filming and like, you know, living in Chicago and like, but like even when Tina was going on her job hunt, it's just like, and she's older than me and it's like, oh my god. And then, but like I started watching it when I was in, I think, high school, and before I even realized that I knew I was gonna SAIC, but I didn't realize that, you know, I didn't realize a lot of things until I got here and things start to actualize. And so now living here, it's just like, yeah, like, you know, I get it, like the train, I don't know. It's my comfort show right now after being back. I don't know what else to do, but dive, like, indulge in something alternative or something except from, staring at my wall. But I have been in my studio a bit more. My home studio, I've been painting. I wanted to show you, so maybe I'll show you. I'm not sure. I also feel kind of like, you don't know, like, it's right there, but it's still not as easy as it can be. I don't know. I don't know how much easier I would need my studio space to be. But, like, I don't know. And, like, I've just been on TikTok just because I need something to look at, and, like, I'll get on Instagram and, like, I don't know. It's like, I think the reality is just, like, you keep all these apps, even if you don't really fuck with them, because of the potential of, like, what if I want to become, TikTok famous and I want to start posting, so you have it, but you don't post because all you're going to do is just scroll on the fucking app. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, so it's really interesting. Isn't this light really fucking cool? Yes, that's great, and that's a tripod. And I've been trying to fix my room. I've been trying to fix my room so that, like, I don't know, it looks the way that I want it to. And it looks really nice. I love the way that it looks. But, there's more pieces that I know I have to create to accommodate for what I really desire. And then I also think about the reality of, like, why I love school so much. I think that, like, it just creates such a safe space to be lost, to be confused, to be still learning, to be uncertain, to be scared. And when you don't have anywhere to do that other than your room or on the train or, I don't know, anywhere else where it's kind of liminal in a way that, like, there's nowhere else, or, like, there's nothing. But yeah, anything else? She's obsessed with my room. Like, I don't know why. Well, I think because I'm the only one who actually lets her into their room. Or lets him, because apparently he's a boy. But yeah, I don't know. When you realize that, like, I don't know, like, life is just a maze of just, like, uncertainty and hidden opportunities and self-created opportunities, and time's gonna take what time takes, and that's just it. And you can't force anything, and you can't rush anything, and all you can do is show up and create space for yourself, and I guess everything becomes okay. I'm not quite sure, I don't really know all the way, but, like, yeah, I'm tired of being nervous. I'm tired of being uncertain. Kind of tired of being sober. I need a cigarette. I don't know. I've been craving a cigarette so bad. But I don't know if a cigarette is gonna break my sobriety. Like, I don't think that's how that works. I don't really need a joint or, like, a blunt. I don't really care for that. I just want, like, something to smoke. And I know that cigarettes are not the best for your health or anything like that, but also watching The Bear, it's, like, influencing me, I guess. I don't know. I also have a screening on the 25th. I'm super excited about that. I don't know. Things like that just remind me that, like, I've done the work and the work is still working, you know what I mean? It's also just, like, I want to do more work. You know, I want to do more. 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 And like fashion is always gonna be there. And like I don't really want to do more in terms of like fashion. You know, not right now, not yet. But I don't know. Those are just my thoughts. You know, those are just my thoughts. And like I said, it's still early in the morning. I had some yogurt and some chocolate inside of it, and then I had a slice of like some cheese, Danish or something like that. I don't know if like it's kind of really, I don't know, it's really annoying. And the only other like safe space for me mentally is here, where I'm recording and, you know, documenting and all these things. But yeah, thank you for listening to my TED Talk. And good morning. Guys, I picked this up on Saturday. It's finally fixed, and my stuff is here. They didn't take none of my stuff, so I'm super grateful for that. But yeah, this is my reality. But yeah, anyways, thank you for watching this long ass video that I've been postponing to finish, because just to even pick up the camera is hard for me sometimes. But yeah, I'm going to start writing this story that I think I'm manifesting for myself. And if I finish writing it and it's good, I guess, I'll put it on Substack. And if it's not, you'll never hear about it. But yeah, anyways, I plan on making a video of me painting as the next upload, so stay tuned for that. That shouldn't take anything out of me, so yeah, thank you for watching if you're watching. Later.